intelligent machines can think, but whether humans can think ethically about machines. In the course of this week, we will be covering themes such as ethical AI for social impact, creativity and AI in a responsible world, bias, explainability, trust in AI systems, generative AI in classroom governance, custom GPT, prompt engineering, and the pathways towards enterprise. Participants have registered for the program and they represent diverse geographies, disciplines, and professions, from doctoral researchers and university faculty to young students and professionals. Several people have joined us. This diversity will enrich our discussions and create space for meaningful interaction and learning. This inaugural session marks the beginning of our intensive 40-hour program, which will run till the coming September 21. I now invite Professor Manju Singh, Program Coordinator, to welcome our eminent guests for the ceremony with a small token of our respect. And please welcome our honorable chief guest, Professor Manoj Singh, the Director of IIT. Sir, if we kind enough to join us, all the people.
I'm here also.
There?
No, still.
And I can.
They can.
Won't be good.
Thank you.
And please now welcome Professor Vineet Sahula, who is the Chief Investigator, MNIT Executive Academy, and our guest of honor for the day.
Investigators.
Sir's cooperation has been helpful throughout the program.
Thank you. I'm awesome. Thank you.
I also now request ma'am to welcome Cedric sir, who is joining us all the way from Goa, and he's one of the first persons having a session.
And the photograph will be good.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I now request Professor Vineet Sahula to provide us with an overview of the MNIT Executive Academy and its objectives. In addition to being the Chief Investigator of the Academy,
Catch it 25 meters per second.
Yes, sir.
and the MNIT Department of Electronics Communications Engineering. Sir, please.
Yeah. Very good morning. Professor Manoj Singh Gaur, Director, IIT Jammu, one of my very old friend and our proud faculty alumni from here. Professor Cedric, both of them, thanks a lot for traveling to our place and taking trouble to devote their time here. Coordinator, Professor Manju Singh, Professor Vijayalakshmi ji, all my other faculty colleagues here, students, participant faculty and students. I think it's a matter of pleasure for me as a academy, you can say office bearer, to have such kind of a program being hosted first time in the history of AICT Academy. At least we have taken a cognizance of something can go wrong with our innovations, which we have witnessed in the past also, like dynamite by Nobel, gene editing by some other scientists. I think we never think some things can be used in a different way. So maybe this interaction can help us understanding and projecting. Projecting future is always risky, but the way it can go wrong, can we have some built-in provisions beforehand? And maybe we can make people aware, those who are involved and will be using, to look at those aspects of it. So thanks to all these speakers for having devoted their time, agreeing to devote their time here. And thanks to Professor Manju Singh for actually taking up this weaving threads for last, she was the first initiator of her own program about more than 6 months back. And I think it speaks for her sincerity to weave up this. And I request all the participants to actually get benefited by all the efforts she has put in, contacted the speakers, and chosen those topics very diligently. I have very small kind of appraisal for Academy. This is phase 2 of AICT Academy, funded by Ministry of Electronics and IT, Government of India. The outlay for our academy is 10 crore approximately. Everything of this 90% goes into the training itself. Next, please. The objective, next, please. The main objective for as a mandate given to us by the ministry is to train the faculty in the emerging areas of electronics and IT, so that finally those students who are their own subjects, they can gain and in the future they are more employable. That's the first prime target and the objective of this establishment of the academy. Next, please. These are some training programs we have been running around these broad areas that way. And current one is also very much falling into sustainability and that kind of an education in general that way. Next, please. So for more details, you can go through this site for about training programs, and registration portal is also open all the time. Next, please. This is some kind of the performance of Academy for last 1.5 years. We have conducted about 40 programs, trained about 3,300 faculty members. This is for Jaipur Academy that way. Yeah, please. We are other 6 more academies across 3 NITs, 2 more NITs, 3 IITs, and Jaipur Triple IT. Next, please. Where we are jointly holding few programs so that our efforts bear more fruit and our reach is deeper across the country. So these are some of the programs we have run in past 6 months, and the kind of participation is next slide, which is about quantum programs are taken very well. I'm sorry for numbers not visible. The last digit or the number is 1,000 in the x-axis. The quantum and AI programs are taken very well, and almost every program has 500 participants all over India. This is jointly arranged by all academies together with their own reach to speakers, convincing them, and having their time utilization for all. Next, please. Yeah, next, please. So this is all we have from Academy. We again thank all the speakers for having agreeing or having consented for addressing our participants, and of course Professor Manju Singh, and lastly our director for keeping faith on us and his motivation for taking up various activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lord, sir.
Catch my voice?
I will catch. It's up to 5 meters, he says.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Distinguished guest, Professor Manoj Singh God, Professor Vineet Sahula, Cedric, Professor Vijayalakshmi, my colleague, Dr. Deepti Sharma, Neja Sharma, Sadbhavna, and like the esteemed colleagues who are online, plus all the enthusiastic participants online who are there, and physical participants who are joining today. In fact, it's my immense pleasure and a profound sense of responsibility that today I am here trying to start a very niche area, which is usually, as Professor Sahula has said, don't come in the bracket of AI. So this is a real, like I will say, because for last 2-3 years, I am into this. As a trainer in RM2 research methodology, I'm trying to just discuss what are the ethical dimensions of that. So it's a profound sense of responsibility for me. Gratitude, obviously, MNIT AICT for this opportunity and having faith on this. And on behalf of my AICT team, which is like, as Professor Sahula mentioned, we are working towards this for last at least 4 months. I would like to mention that Vartika, Mahak, Shrishti, Nidhi, Shweta, and Labhisha. So they all are with us for organizing this, because for us, it is a first experience conducting online and offline, and just seamless we want to do. Let's see how much we will get the success. So this is like, I thought it is very special to mention about it. So warm welcome to all of you joining to this pivotal academic training program on ethical AI for knowledge discovery. Your presence is very precious for us, online, offline, both. I think you mentioned it, because this is a testament to your farsightedness and your commitment to navigating the complex and transformational landscape of AI. I will begin with a quote from Sundar Pichai. Technology has the power to transform life, but it is responsibility to ensure it serves all of humanities, not just a privileged one. So this is actually giving the perfectly frame our current area, which we can see, observe, and we are living through a fundamental shift where AI is just not a technological advancement, but is a new way we acquire, process, and leverage information. Everybody is using AI, whether they are so-called literate or illiterate. So Bill Gates also wisely observed the advance of technology is based on making to fit in so that you don't really even notice it. I think many of us won't be able to say that we are using AI and this is a part of everyday life. This is precisely what's happening with AI. It has become a powerful engine for knowledge discovery, accelerating research, transforming industries, and offering insight that were once beyond our reach. We have never thought that we'll be able to do this so fast. From decoding complex genomic data to predicting climate challenges. AI is unlocking new frontiers of human understanding, quietly integrating itself into the fabric of our daily existence. Stephen Hawking also once said, the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of human race. The powerful statement, while perhaps extreme, highlights the gravity of the work we are undertaking. The ethical dilemma of AI is not an afterthought, but the very foundation upon we must build our futures. That's the purpose. With this immense power comes on equally immense responsibility. Yuval Harari warns that the greatest danger of artificial intelligence is not that it will become a tool in the hands of dictator, but that it will cease to be a tool altogether. So left unchecked, AI can spread and amplify existing biases, create opaque decision-making system, and lead to unintended consequences that erode trust and fairness. This is the background why we thought of drafting this kind of program and critically we can think of. Over the next few days, as Nidhi also mentioned, we will explore the principles of fairness, accountability, and transparency. Also examine the ethical implication of data privacy and algorithm bias. We will learn to design, implement, and deploy AI systems that are not only intelligent, but also just, equitable, and aligned with human values. To the participants specifically, you are not just the student or the participants. You are the pioneers and the guardian of the new technological frontiers, and your commitment to the ethical AI will help shape a future where technology serves humanity rather than dominating it. So with this, I'll take pause with wishing you happy, impactful, and meaningful learning. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am, for this insight. It is indeed our honor and pleasure to have in our midst today Professor Manoj Singh Gaur, Director, Indian Institute of Technology, Jammu, as our chief guest. The position of Director at the IIT Jammu he has held for 8 years now. Prior to joining the institute, he was a professor and head of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at MNIT, our very own MNIT. He has been Dean, Student Affairs, and also served as the Chairman, Senate Audit Board at our institute. Professor Gaur completed his Master's in Computer Science and Engineering from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and a PhD from the University of Southampton, UK. In his teaching and research career of almost 3 decades, he has been investigator number of funded research projects in the areas of information security, network function. He has been part of the core group project ISEA, which is Information Security Education and Awareness, which is a major multi-institutional project in the domain of information security in India. His current research areas include computer and network security, network attack models and countermeasures, mobile platform security, data privacy, cloud security, malware analysis, network function, and SPN. He has published close to 200 papers in reputed journals and conferences. Professor Gaur has been associated with several funded international collaborations with many countries. The list of his academic and research accolades and administrative credentials is long, and I can keep going on. But as an expert researcher in the domain of ICT, I'm pleased to invite him to dais to deliver the business.
So, thank you very much. I got 20 minutes, right? So,
Ramesh, make it full screen for transmission slides.
my slides are visible, right? To everybody online. Fine. So today I'm going to keep it very crisp because I'm not speaker. There's a keynote of around 20-25 minutes. It was a challenge to make it fit in what I am aware of right now. And there is some pretext to this also, that in last 1.5 years, we have been learning, again, like everybody else, AI. And what shape it is taking and what can be and should be the priorities for us. So this talk has been prepared by 2 of the students. They're actually registered as a PhD, but currently young professionals in one of the national project called AICOE, Artificial Intelligence Center of Excellence. Government of India has launched a program for creating 4 Center of Excellence in 4 different domains: health, agriculture, sustainable cities, and education. And we have a small team with sectoral experts and a few very young professionals who are working with us. Okay, so just a pretext, information technology revolution. I gave a talk 2 years back in Jaipur again, which talks about multiple revolution, industrial revolution, whatnot. We have seen, I still remember it very vividly, but when I assembled the first computer, we witnessed the birth of computers followed by connected computers. In fact, we saw dial-up modems, then computer talk to each other, writing those protocols, using different kind of wires they can talk, then wireless came and everything changed. But the essence was that internet and WWW came, World Wide Web, which allowed sharing the information, and then people start putting smart algorithms, whether it's a Facebook, whether it's a smart search, page ranking algorithms by Google, and so on and so forth. And we can state now that we are in the middle of the third revolution, early the first 2, but makes them look like a warm-up acts. That's very important because they were too small, what we are seeing around us now. And that is the fact that we have created a new intelligent species that we are going to be sharing the planet with from now on. It's a reality that everything will come with a hint of AI. And with a lot of changes around us in every, I would say, sphere of life. So the question remains, are we in trouble because of this new invention, what we have created? Or have we taken these things step too far? A very recent experiment I just want to walk you through with this, what has happened. Reddit is a channel, I think many of you might be aware. So people share their views, they give talks, they talk about it. So there is a subreddit channel called Change My View. A small team of researchers from Switzerland, actually, they did a large-scale field experiment in online persuasion, a Socratic way of arguing with each other to find the knowledge, where the users post opinions and invite other people to challenge them. Intense human activity, right? It is. This channel prides itself the most critically minded community, because they think that they're very smart actually. And when they say and with changed mind, there's something extraordinary thing happen. And these set of researchers quietly unleashed a set of AI accounts. And they were Gen AI LLM bots, large language models, to pretend that they were people and try to change other people's mind. They were doing experiment. They want to see that whether it's being done or not. And there is a measurement of success also by tallying whether an original poster, the person who posted the initial thought, publicly admitted that their mind has been changed by the argument. So how did the bots do well? Did they well, or there's a comparison? In a few months' time, they saw that LLM bots crushed humans' performance by achieving 18% success, way above human experts' success of merely 3%. One of the scariest part to the people was that nobody noticed that these debaters were actually AI and not the real humans. And so then ethical question are still being debated, and then the group never published their study impact results. They have given a report. Report is available actually, you can find it. So the idea is that whether this experiment raised any kind of ethical questions in terms of use of AI. So now let's argue about it, that why did the bots succeed? After all, they did not hack the people's brain with neural interfaces, right? You're talking about Neuralink. There's no chip involved over there. They didn't spread fear or disinformation. They did not tell you that you go and change it, I'll put a gun on your brain. They did not insult people while arguing with them. They were not bullying them. They did not do little jabs and digs so that they become uncomfortable and say, give up. Okay, fine, I'll change my idea. They simply made better arguments. That's what happened. They just made good arguments empathetically, which were convincing. The bots present their points calmly, rationally, and persuasively. And when users change their minds, this success happens. It was because they recognized that another perspective was worth considering. We may argue that were they sentient? They were not. And that is a separate debate for another day. So we need to understand that this experiment was one-off. In fact, many such experiments have been done, but this is which came and reported and people are studying in terms of neuroscience also, along with the ethics. So remember, I'll just take you back that AI versus non-AI. ML is for a long time. We have been doing ourselves. We are kind of classifying brains. We have classified brain. We want to take decision with incomplete information all the time. We want to classify whether it's a human, whether it's an animal, actually, whether it's a leaf or whether it's a flower, and so on and so forth. So it's not a magic. Science of creating systems that understand the environment, learn from data, and make decisions. Now, algorithm plus data is the key. I'll be talking separately about what is the data actually over here. So AI talks about machine learning algorithms we have been using long time. Now, only change has happened last 25 years. That around 2000, a large volume of data all of start being captured in digital way. See, all non-digital data, you need to capture it, OCR it, convert it, ingest it, right? But once the internet came and spread happens beyond academic circles, then it starts generating and ingesting a lot of data. In fact, there is a method in security also we'll talk about, store now, decrypt later. The quantum computer, you said that's very popular. So why that we can break some time, but we'll keep on storing all the data available with us. Coming back, statistical models trained on the data, and then speech recognition, Siri, Alexa is with us long time, and we are comfortable with that. And those features are nowadays available in your TVs also. You speak, you make search. Because as simple as that, those any student of cognitive science over here, they are cognitively very light. In fact, see, we tend to go for the shortest path. So if I can search by speaking, I'll go for that because easy to do. And then image classification with Google, things start happening with the touch of a button. See, apps become popular. You do banking on apps because they're convenient. It's easy. You carry your bank in you need not go to teller. You don't have to write a check and sign it and get verified, wait for it, and so on and so forth. So we need such platforms. We'll touch later about that as well quickly. And non-AI it's not a conscious. Remember this. It's not creative per se. It seems to be creative, I think, which Cedric also will talk later on. But they they generate a lot of data, which we make sense that they are creative, actually, right? Because remember, as a human being, we can critically think, we can create, we can solve problems, but we get overwhelmed by the scale. If I tell you to multiply two numbers or two-digit number by two-digit number, possibly you can do it. But I will say that these are seven-digit numbers, seven-digit number, you can't do it. You need a method for that. You need an algorithm. So we, as a human brain, we cannot solve big problems. We overwhelm, so we divide and conquer, actually, in a sense. And not inherently moral. This we can argue whether it's moral or immoral. They don't understand. This is the algorithm, right? It's the data which we're talking about. Not a mystical force or magic, not a replacement for human judgment. That's true. It's much more deeper than this single sentence, because critical thinking, rejection, acceptance of data is many things you can look at. So these are AI-generated images, actually. But at the same time, AI is been improving, and it's making many of us very uncomfortable in different ways. So there was a seismic movement in 1997. IBM Deep Blue defeated Garry Kasparov. That was world number one in chess, right? We thought, our ability to play chess is gone. It did not, actually. In 2017, much complex game called AlphaGo. AlphaGo machine algorithm, I should say, beat world number one Go player. I think his name was Kanji, yeah. And but Kanji did a nice thing. He went back and then he studied that how did he lose? He should not have lost. And he saw that what moves is being created, which was never thought about, because we have, as I said, we have cognitive limitations in terms of digesting, remembering the moves. And it's a huge, it's a design space, explosive games. That's why we find it very complex. Not everybody can play chess and Go. So he studied it and then started playing with machine more and more. In fact, that we do it. Right? Even in physical games like tennis and table tennis, you have machines which will make you play better, improve the game. And then he came back, and then what was observed and what he realized, that his game improved a lot post 2017. And he started beating other players much faster than what was he doing before he started playing with AlphaGo. It means his capability of playing with his game improved by playing with a machine, actually. So he became an even better Go player. CMU, Carnegie Mellon, actually cooked up what we call another game, AI-based poker player, Librotus, actually. They released it, I think, 2020, 2021, which learned and started playing better poker even without a face. Remember, when you play poker, then you have to raise, call, and hold. You have to look at the micro expressions on the face, whether you're faking it or it's a real one, and then you give your stake and you play the next one. So poker outcomes needs players' intuition, and that's intuition based. You look at the face, that what you're going to play, what card you have, and then you place a bet, actually. But AI they don't have a face, right? It's not looking at face as well. But it knows the design space with the data. And poker outcomes needs players to read microfacial expression without a face. And so many strategies have come in many different goals, including some of the games coming with AR, which as I said, with the ingestion of AI into this. So generative AI was a different thing, in fact, which when we started doing it, earlier it was mainly ML. And when we talk about ML algorithms, machine learning algorithms, they were there, which we classified as a narrow AI. So we had some good examples in many of the washing machines, at times in the fridges. They look at number of sensory parameters and decide what to do next. Then you have a number of prediction models also, which include like weather prediction, then so on and so forth. But here what happened is with generative AI, with transformers coming in the mainstream, they started calling it prediction to creation. Not only the classification prediction, we started generating something which was not part of the database actually, and data sets. So unlocks the creativity, text, art, code, music. And when we say the text and language, we became very uncomfortable actually. That's why Yuval Harari keeps on talking about it, that they have hacked our operating system. The language is our operating system. He has written about it a lot. And there's a number of people who actually wrote a long letter, I think 2021, 22, that we should put some regulation AI companies to produce their tools and a few other things. But at the same time, it boosts the productivity and rapid prototyping. AI continues to democratize the access to knowledge and the tools which are yet to be, and every day you have got a lot of tools being generated by startups and the big company alike, enables personalized learning and healthcare. But at the same time, if you look at that, it can fuel a lot of misinformation because it can generate, it can cook up. And deepfakes, because adversarial networks are there to generate it. It can reinforce bias from the training data, which is historically we might have a lot of data with us, which companies have stored, on which these algorithms are dependent, on neural networks are dependent. But at the same time, the data is not very balanced. I think yesterday we were talking about it, that number of CEOs, give me 100 CEOs. So give the data for that, then it will, synthetically generate, give it to 50-50, right? But if you ask that, what is the realistic sense, then it will give 90-10, 90 male and 10 female. Now that bias, if it percolates amplified by these algorithms, it's not a good sign for us, good news for us. Then create copyright and ownership disputes, I presume he's going to talk about. That's, we have consumed so much of data. Everybody says that AI search is 10 times more expensive in terms of energy when you do it normal Google search. For a reason, because you have to contain and iterate on that data to generate the search results. So the end point is the statement which I have written is, will generative AI be humanity's co-creator or our greatest source of deception? Answer is still out, actually. So the risk of AI, if I look at, the danger of AI is not that AI will become smarter than humans. The real danger is that it will amplify the bias, inequality, and injustice that already exist in the society. People talk about unipolar world, bipolar world, and now you coined a new word. Some of mine is called technopolar. That companies will drive the policies rather than governments are driving the policy for the companies. The governance will be challenged, and it is really challenged actually, because most of the governance infrastructure and the people, they don't understand this technology, neither the companies, in fact. So there is a book, I think those who are motivated, they should look at, there's a book called AI Spoil, Misuse or Hyping of the Artificial Intelligence by Arvind Narayanan and Sayesh Kapoor. Aravind, I think possibly he's a part of Inflection also. Not Inflection, that's Perplexity, actually, in that sense. So there are three parts: perception, which we have been doing it, speech recognition, image recognition, etc. Prediction, forecasting, medical outcomes, risk assessment, and credit scoring. This is there already in the machines when we use it, because ML for operation already exists. All your EV, which is semi-automated or automated vehicles, they have these things. All collision detection system, ADAS systems with multiple SIMs in the automotive sector, they are using these kind of algorithms. And the social outcomes in decision making, that hiring, predictive policing, evaluating criminal risk, etc. In behavioral analysis, they do a lot. Hiring, the companies have been doing it a lot for their advantage to reduce hiring because they hire flex also now, in a sense. They have higher view also, which works on algorithms. It's a completely dehumanized system, actually, in a sense. So the question, again, we should ask ourselves, will AI make us all better? Let's see. So there is a term called AI singularity, preparing for the unknown. So there's a earlier it used to be sci-fi long time away, but I don't think it's that far away. When the AI surpasses human intelligence, questions can still be asked whether it will surpass or not. So from science fiction to serious academic discussion, opportunities, super intelligent AI could solve complex problems like climate change, disease spread, and so on and so forth. Unforeseeable, kind of unknown materials. They have been finding it. Protein folding, what they have solved, I think last year, in fundamental sciences, they got those who use AI, a Nobel Prize. In fact, I think chemistry, physics, and one more. So they got it. It will accelerate scientific breakthroughs and innovation, and it provides the potential for abundance, smarter systems, optimizing energy, food, and medicine. But is a very big but is unknowable. Whether it will take you to dystopia with flourishing, or it will become dystopian. In fact, where a scenario where the AI's goal diverges from the human values, what we want to see, with potentially catastrophic outcome for humanity. Because remember, we cannot catch up with machine when it comes to learning the way we are doing it. And if the machine is learning faster than us, which they will do, what happens to us? So that's we don't know actually. That's a challenge we have to look at. There's a graph also is being drawn over there where we're linear. There is the AI growth and learning is going motion. It will supersede. And that's why people are talking about super intelligence, AI general intelligence, and so on and so forth. But again, as I said, the jury is still out. So the main risk and concerns over here in Singularity is control and governance. Who decides what super intelligent AI does? Meta has created superintelligence group. Amazon is also working. See, look at if there is similarity over there in these companies. The companies who have got huge amount of data, they are creating these tools. We talk about GDPR, we talk about DPDP Act in India, about data protection, privacy, but we don't have, and we don't claim any audit tools. We talk about policy, but who will check the compliance to these tools, which we don't understand even how they're functioning? And that becomes a challenge for us. And hence, the main contribution of critical and ethics will come. Organizations have done a framework also, but we are yet to see that how to do the compliance. Then value alignment, misaligned goals could cause catastrophic harms. AI optimizes wrong things. It can happen, actually. Inequality, power concentrated among few entities and countries, which we have seen it happening. Right? And there will be a lot of tremors around these fault lines. Surveillance and loss of freedom, potential to create oppressive systems. It is possible with the technology in wrong hands. Unpredictability. Once AI surpasses us, its decisions may be incomprehensible because the value system is different. So which we don't understand actually. I've written a sentence, but I don't know actually what will happen with this situation. So ethics and technology in general, if we asking the right questions, purpose, equity, and oversight. What is the purpose we are looking at? Why are we building these AI systems? Equity. Who benefits and who might be harmed? I think you mentioned something which I said that should not increase the divide. But if you look at it, currently divide is huge and it is increasing. Now, look at the academic institutions. Can we do the AI research, realistic sense in generative AI domain? Probably not. The kind of compute and kind of data is required. No university, in fact, in India or any other place has got that capacity. What Google, Amazon, or Facebook has got. Because the current model is huge amount of compute, huge amount of data, throw it and see this, what happens. So these are models what we does. And we don't own those models. You have open weight models, but very few open source models. So you can't tinker them as well. And we don't have capability. In fact, if you compare with, because typically when you talk to any CS or IT guy who's working in AI, he'll say that, ask Bhavna, she'll say that, how many GPUs you've got? Not many. Right. What you are doing is tinker toys. 1 billion parameter, 2 billion parameter, easy to make. But when you talk about 70, 110, 400 billion parameters models, it's a huge, humongous. You can't imagine the kind of compute you need it. So there's already divide, those who have and those who have not. And these questions it's again, who has got access to this kind of technology. So these questions have real world consequences. AI affects who gets hired, who receives medical treatment, who is flagged by law enforcement, and how elections are influenced. There's a case. The first slide, I said the field experiment, where the opinions are changed. In fact, in one of the elections, I won't name it, it happened earlier, right? So there was a API group which was used by Cambridge Analytical Group in Facebook. And this swung, and in fact, in this study also, they say that if I give more information, like age, gender, and few other things about the individual, then it will make a change of 1% more. 1% is huge if you look at the election of any sized country. And that makes a lot of change. And hence, if you are not careful, if we are not careful, these things may affect us all. So UNESCO created a framework called Global Compass for AI Ethics in 2021. 193 countries adopted UNESCO's recommendation on ethics in artificial intelligence, creating a readiness assessment methodology called RAM. But it has not moved much ahead. In fact, there were a couple of conferences happen, meetings happen. I think 2022 or 2023, I also did one meeting, but it was more of a discussion about the policies. They were not talking about the real things happening on the ground. It's around us, what we use. So they talked about human and rights and dignity, environmental sustainability, inclusion, equity, accountability, governance, transparency, and explainability. And explainability is not there actually in a sense. So that remains still very in open domain and very, very top level policy level rather than compliance framework where we can test it for a given tool. Now, as a country in India, it becomes very, very important for us. I hope you heard, some of you might have heard this terminology called data as public infrastructure and digital public infrastructure. We call DPI.
He's doing PhD on this.
Okay, so fine. So digital public infrastructure is in thing, and it is empowering a country like us. It has happened. In fact, it's happening around. Whatever changes you have seen, which you have seen coming organically, but happening, making your life better, are coming through DPI, most of it. So people call data the new oil, but that analogy fails. Oil is a finite. Data can be reused. I take the data, I can copy it in number of times. So data brokers are more important. And it can be recombined, it can be improved also with what we call the parameterization, hyperparameterization, and so forth. A better metaphor we can suggest is road and electricity infrastructure that benefits everyone when managed responsibly. When treated as a public good, data unlocks value at scale. So we can use data for education, of course, for policy frameworks. Anonymized student data powers adaptive learning tools, which is the next thing we should be doing as a country. You'll see it happening around us. To improve the school education, which should affect a good education to all. Healthcare, shared health records enable predictive analytics within the diversity of the languages also. Agriculture, weather and soil data helps optimize farming and improving the marginal farming community as well. So DPI infrastructure, huge success story. If you look at the biggest one is what we talk about is Aadhaar. The numbers are astounding. If you look at 1.3 billion Aadhaar users, 97% of India's population has digital identity, saving almost 15.1 billion in 2022 by reducing welfare frauds, what you call DBTs, 8 billion UPI transactions, which are Aadhaar seeded. In fact, so around Aadhaar, we started seeding these services, and they create another DPI actually in a sense. So you can see the numbers, what is being written over there, that it's a huge It's enabling the daily commerce around us and helped us come over quickly during COVID also, post-COVID, because UP-wise accelerated that time. You can see, we know DigiLocker, Digi Yatra, which is also growing, then IRCTC as a platform, and so on and so forth. So for AI, three rules: interoperability, openness, and clear governance. So these platforms makes us suitable for adoption of good AI with ethics. I'll touch upon that AI at scale, solving real problems, which as a CPMU and IIT Jammu, we are handling is agriculture, education, healthcare. There are 3 COEs currently functioning. One is IIT Kanpur, second is IIT Bangalore, and third is IIT Ropar. But again, they are not indigenous institutions. There are a number of around 25 cohort institutions, NGOs, and industry working with them to solve some real problems. In the interest of time, I'll just skip So this is an AI working at scale. That's a vision for the masses. So why the governance of AI is essential? AI is powerful, but without control, it can cause harm, reinforce bias, enabling surveillance and automating injustice as well. So data collection, enforce consent, and limit purpose. So that's why that first study, which I said that changed my view, CMV they call it, they did not take consent that in that particular group, the AI bots are there. So, but again, it's a gray area. Model development requires bias audits and impact assessment. That's why you need human in the loop who understands that what are the current contexts and how to improve it. Then deployment, humans must remain in the loop for higher stake decisions. And the governance establish institutional AI ethics boards, just like what we have the ethics committees for various other things like medical and data and so on and so forth. This will come, but still does not exist. So a strong governance requires standards, policies, literacy, training people to understand AI risk and responsibilities, which need to be there in the center stage. Ethical AI building together is possible because individuals can't do it. We need bigger teams to work it. So we have to look at breaking between technologies, educators, and policymakers. Invest in digital literacy. I think this course might like to address that. Ensure everyone can use AI confidently, in fact. So in fact, everybody should know AI, just like a computing, which when we started doing in 90s, it was only for few in computer science department, but now everybody is using it. In fact, this there in hand. And engage in governance and reflect continuously, that keep on checking yourself. AI is not revolution by itself, but our choice says about AI, how we design, govern, and use it can be revolutionary. Now, ethical AI typically is being defined by privacy, fairness, and transparency. If these pillars hold, AI can truly act as an ethical infrastructure. And future of work is certainly in front of us whenever you say that. Because this will define what we, as a human being, as society, how do we value ourselves? So ethical mandate is path forward requires intentional choices, generative AI with responsibility, singularity in quote, through governance rather than fear, and future of work built on fairness, dignity, inclusion. AI must be ethical by design, serving humanity, not replacing it. So one dystopian thought is less than 5% will be employed after some time by 2030. I heard it recently. I'm not privy to it, but I heard it. There's no statistic, but there was a talk, there was a paper, I went through it. So some predictions suggest that the mass automation could reduce employment to just 5% of the population. Whilst this may be speculative, the trend towards AI-driven job displacement is undeniable and accelerating across industries. But at the same time, new kind of jobs will come. They say that it will be replaced, but it will be disruptive, certainly, but new kinds of jobs will come. So fundamental question, is AI is a tool to replace people or to empower us to make us better? So the last slide, AI is not revolutionary by itself, but the way we design, govern, and use it can be truly revolutionary. So there is no recommendation over here. I still again repeat, I think during the week in 36th session, I saw that you will be able to find some answers. But this is only a point of view with some observation, because we all are together to understand that how AI is going to change us, the way we live, the way we work. But certainly governance of these tools are required because they are very powerful. And they, if in wrong hands, they can really reshape the way we live and the way we work. And if you want to be good ancestor for our next generations, we have to take care of it. Thank you.
I think everything the tone for this week, diving deep into AI. Before we conclude, here are some housekeeping rules, especially for the online participants. I'll just read them out. Number one, please ensure your microphone is muted throughout the session to minimize background noise. Only unmute yourself when the facilitator allows you to speak. Please keep your video on throughout the session. Use the chat box for taking questions, quick comments, or posting questions. Take the questions towards the end of every session. If you want to speak or contribute, please use the raise hand.
Yeah.
Superb of presentation. For all sessions, please join 5 to 10 minutes early and also check your audio and video connections. Listen, be respectful of discussion.
Classes first.
And put all of that's all.
Section same, right?
Several people will make this program possible.
Second section.
Professor
That's what we're trying to.
For his leadership and support. To our chief guest, Professor Manoj Singh Gaur, our guest of honor, Professor Vineet Savila, all the deputies, Academy, Nita Magdalene, sir, and efforts made the program possible. To our respected resource persons, who generously sharing their expertise in the community. Participants, of course, both here in person as well as joining online. So the enthusiasm and active participation will actually drive this initiative towards objectives. To Professor Manju Singh for her leadership and guidance throughout. For the past 3 months, like she mentioned, she has been with us. The organizing team, with our faculty and staff colleagues.
Yeah.
This brings us to the end of the inaugural session. Everybody present here, please join us.
Maybe
5 minutes we can
there
give
may
it.
be some
You
questions.
participant may have some questions.
Also, see the hand raised. Just check it. No, there's no question. Any question?
Yeah, you can ask, yeah.
I think
No, offline.
Okay. Present offline as well.
offline.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Session. There are 2 questions I would like to highlight. First might be not more relevant from the academia perspective. The second might be more academia relevant. The first is like we have gone through the AI and according to you can be a revolutionary for the future coming society, right? But don't you think there are certain limitations to AI? For example, very frequent AI app which we generally use is ChatGPT these days. So we have seen ChatGPT these days that there are certain loopholes in that whenever on the more intensive questions being asked over there, they even set back themselves, like saying it, they don't have a specific answer to that. So can we say that relying too much on AI being revolutionary as being termed, will it going to give a setback to the society? And second, as being from the academia, this innovation of AI, is it ethically acceptable in the future coming society for the academic? Because we have seen for now, it has not been seen from the positive connotation, but will it be taken as a positive acceptance for the academic?
Okay, so let's do one by one. First thing, when you said that AI, General, can you repeat the first question actually again? Because I got involved with the educational part.
There is a certain limitation of.
Yes, it's so as I said that AI still continues to hallucinate. So what they have done is they start filtering their responses, all of them, in fact, whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, then there are a huge number of models available to you. But given they are data-driven algorithms, right? I keep on repeating that term. What they have digested, they can only generate out of that context. You must have used some tools called auto-completion, right? Gmail was using earlier, long time. Now, I think most of the tools, like including Meta on WhatsApp, actually try to complete your word and sentence as well. This is again generative feature for this. Now, it depends that what kind of data they have ingested. If they don't have sufficiently large data set, their generation will be limited. Now, if they're commercial organization, they're for profit. So if they generate something which is not acceptable, then next time you won't use it actually, because you have a lot of options available. You will shift over. So they have to hold you back. So you are a customer and you need to be retained. Now, how do you do that? That you scope yourself out. That if I don't know complete answer, then possibly I won't respond to you. And second context could be if there are some, because remember, these tools are available across the globe, where the legality definitions are changing. What is legal in India will be illegal in Pakistan, Bangladesh, or Nepal. Because these are being defined by the local context. So what is being generated over here, whether it's illegal or not, that's being watched by the agencies now. They become smarter now. So some of the things they won't respond because they know it's illegal over here. Right? So it's more complex than what we see. And there is, when the data, there is a term which we use, the data curation. So data comes, we filter data, we sift through data, what to use, what not to use. So initially, Open AI used almost like 3 to 4, 5 years, very low wage people in Kenya and large scale to sift through the data and make some kind of guardrails, they call it. But some of them are still not using it. Like Grok is open; you will say whatever you want. So and after some time, the availability of data becomes a question, because exponentially you have done it. Now it's a saturation. You don't have new data for two reasons. Maybe in that particular domain, more data is not available. The second is all of us become very sensitive. We become alert, and now we are fencing our data. So if you go to some kind of conferences on AI and ML, they'll talk about data as infrastructure, which I gave in the slide. So that becomes an asset now. And earlier, all data brokers were freely and with all impunity, they were just collecting data from wherever it is available. Whether when you're checking the hotel, whether it's going to school record, whether it's an institution, whether it's in somewhere cloud, because cloud provider become data brokers. TSPs, what we call the telecom service provider, become data brokers because they have access of data which is flowing through their switches. But now we have become alert that we'll do end-to-end encryption. You can't see my payload. So now the challenge is that how to get more data which can improve my results. So after all, the services and the tools will be sold if they are with good feature and they're improving. So that limitation might come, but at the same time, if we start narrowing down in terms of what we were doing earlier, narrow intelligence, then that context-oriented responses will improve. And they'll become very, very precise and specific. Right? Now, second part, education. Now, that's open question, actually. So it depends on that whether you want to use generative AI in your class or not, whether you want to allow ChatGPT with your students or not. This is an open debate right now. The students are asking that why should you call us in the classroom? Because, again, I'll give you an example. There was talk which talked about, Stack Overflow, I think you might be knowing, right? Earlier, we used to post our questions, and there's a set of people, very smart people used to answer it. It's a knowledge exchange platform. But in last 4 or 5 years, that posting of questions has gone down. Reason? You have the prompting. You are using prompting rather than going to a Stack Overflow. So the data in form of the question, which was earlier, used by that platform called Stack Overflow. And there are many such platforms, Substack also, actually, they use it. Now it's being ingested by these ChatGPT. At the same time, with generation and additional generation, right or wrong, the value of the content, the cost of the content has gone down hugely. I think it will be talked later as well.